Hello and welcome back to Comics and Beyond, our semi-weekly show where we take a comic book story arc, collected volume, thing like that, and we talk about it. We talk about the cool parts, the thing we liked. But this week, I'm joined by my host,
Michael, what's up? Hey, you guys know me. You don't love me. You know me though.
and I am Bruno, and we will be doing New Avengers issue 1 to 28 by Jonathan Hickman. And this New Avengers run by Jonathan Hickman is basically the lead up to Secret Wars. Um, so you could call this part two of our lead up to Secret Wars.
Part two. Do we have a part one?
Part one's Old Man
You're
Logan.
right, yeah. Remember that one, guys? Should click that one. It was a good one.
So, anyways, New Avengers opens up with the idea of incursions, and if we're gonna get anywhere in this video, we need to explain what the hell an incursion is.
Yeah. What is an incursion for those of us that didn't read?
An incursion is, as the Black Swan, who's a character in this book, as the Black Swan tells the Illuminati, an incursion is this thing that was created when this god named Rabu Malal destroyed a universe in the multiverse. And that caused all the universes around it to start colliding with each other. And an incursion is when two Earths occupy the same space. And basically, you have 8 hours to stop the incursion,
Or the moon
which
falls
is
into the planet.
or or one of the Earths, or both the Earths are destroyed along with their universes. The only way to stop an incursion is to destroy one of the Earths, thus leaving both universes alive, but one of them just not having an Earth anymore.
Which, I mean, really, they're better off.
Well, like, yeah, but
But wait, who are the Illuminati?
the Illuminati at the beginning of the book are Mr. Fantastic, Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, Namor, Black Panther, Black Bolt, and Captain America.
The strongest men in the universe.
Indeed. So, they start off the book with basically Black Panther finds out about the incursions first. Because Black Swan comes from what you can say is her Earth, but you don't really know yet, I guess. And she comes to our Earth and she destroys the Earth that she came from. So, so that's how Black Panther figures out about the incursions. So then he calls together the Illuminati, which is sort of a big thing because if you read, which I know you didn't, but if you read the Illuminati book that Brian Michael Bendis did, which is basically like Brian Michael Bendis created the Illuminati and retconned them into Marvel history.
Hmm.
And in that book, when they first call together the Illuminati, Black Panther doesn't want anything to do with it. So it's a pretty big thing that the incursions makes Black Panther call together the Illuminati.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Another Earth getting destroyed in front of your face kind of does it.
Yeah, that's like a pretty shocking thing to see. I mean, like, it's
Very startling.
yeah, it's not your regular Tuesday.
No,
Maybe a Wednesday, but like not a Tuesday.
that's what I call Friday night.
Anyways, so they come up with a plan to try to stop the incursions, which is they're going to assemble the Infinity Gauntlet, which also in that Brian Michael Bendis story arc of the Illuminati, Reed Richards finds all the Infinity Gems and basically gives each member of the Illuminati their own Infinity Gem to keep safe.
Like Captain Planet.
Indeed. And this was one of the first cool things that came about from the New Avengers run, was that Professor X is dead, so they don't know where his gem is. But Professor X left a Beast with like a memory embedded in his head that would only be reawakened when he read this letter that Professor X gave to him. And I thought that was pretty cool. That like him reading the letter, it like reawakened the memory, and like you go with him as he remembers it, and as he remembers the code to get into the safe. By the way, I don't know why the heck Professor X keeps an Infinity Gem in a safe
In a
behind
safe. I
a
was just about to
painting
say that.
in his office.
Because it's exactly where no one would expect it to be. In the dumbest place possible.
Seriously, like Professor X is supposed to be like super smart, Like he's got the most powerful mind on Earth, but he's like, I'm gonna put this in the old safe right next to the revolver.
Basically, that is literally what he did.
But also, I love that the Illuminati shows up along with Lockjaw because Lockjaw teleports in there.
Because why not? If you ask me, Lockjaw should have stayed. He could have just eaten the Earths.
Dude, Lockjaw's the best.
Right?
But yeah, so after that, then they induct Beast into the Illuminati, and they take the Infinity Gem and they form the Infinity Gauntlet, and
They don't so much induct him as just tell him to join.
Yeah, they tell him that he has to join. So they form the Infinity Gauntlet, and they go to where the incursion is happening. And one of the things that you find out about incursions is that when it's happening, you can't see it until it's like about to happen. But there's a place where you can go to that when you step into it, it's like you step into a field, and then you can see the incursion happening. So for the first, like, 7.5 hours, I'd say, or like 7 hours of the incursion, like, that's the only place where you can see the incursion happening, is inside that field. And when you step out, then you can't see the incursion. Because incursions only last 8 hours. So basically, the Illuminati, every single time that an incursion happens, they have 8 hours to try to figure out what to do.
And if they don't,
then everybody's dead.
Everybody gonna die. Everybody gonna die. It's my new rap.
It's coming out.
It's called Everybody Gonna Die.
So they form the Infinity Gauntlet, and they tell Captain America that because, like, he has the most, like, what's it called? Like, resolve, would you say?
Yes.
Because he has the best resolve out of all of them, that he's going to use the Infinity Gauntlet. So he does, but in using the Infinity Gauntlet, he destroys all of the gems except for the Time Gem, because the Infinity Gauntlet basically used up all of its power to try to stop the incursion, which it did. So then after that, then Namor punches him straight in the face, and they start fighting.
Because plot point.
Because plot point. Because you really need to know that Namor's an a-hole.
I already knew it. From page 1. You didn't have to do that. I love Namor, he's great. Tell him what happens next.
Oh gosh. So then after that, basically, they start toying with the idea of coming up with ways to stop the incursions, and they all come to the idea that, as a last case scenario, we should come up with our own, like, ways of destroying another Earth. And that's when Captain America's like, no, like, you guys can't do this. And then he gives this whole long speech about how, like, it's morally wrong, like, no matter what I tell you guys, like, you guys are gonna do it because I'm telling you not to do it. And, like, no matter what, you guys are gonna convince yourselves you're doing it for the greater good. And then when any other answer becomes too hard to do, you're gonna convince yourselves that it's the only option you have, and then you're gonna do it. And then, like, the rest of the Illuminati just looks at him and they're like, alright, we're sorry, Cap. And then, like, Doctor Strange does Doctor Strange magic on him and wipes his mind, and Captain America's out of the Illuminati.
Yeah, pretty much. That was...
Like, you couldn't see it, but I was doing the Doctor Strange, like, hands and waving him around.
I heard it. I heard you doing it. I hated that part, by the way. Not because it was like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing this. It was like, then why even get him involved in the first fucking place?
Yeah, I haven't read the story where he becomes inducted into the Illuminati, or if that's just something Hickman added at the beginning of the story. But it was probably because if Hickman has been planning this as much as I think he has, Captain America was probably there because Hickman knew that if he had anybody else in the Illuminati have the Infinity Gauntlet, all the fans would be like, he wouldn't be able to use the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, he'd go crazy. Like, there's no way Reed Richards or Tony Stark or Namor or Black Bolt or Doctor Strange or...
What do you mean? Namor couldn't have used it? Really? He's already an asshole. What's it gonna do? Make him more of an asshole? Well, what's it gonna do? Like, oh, first I wanted to kill 50 million people. Now I want to kill 51 million people. It's like, okay. Namor's a douche. He could have used it. That fucker is full renegade.
The whole bar's filled up.
The whole thing. He punched that reporter straight in the mouth.
Dude, that was the best part of the game.
Absolutely. I reloaded to save and replayed it like 7 times. But you know what they couldn't replay 7 times?
Oh,
The Earth's getting destroyed.
That only happens once. And not even once, not even once, fellas.
It just happened.
It just happened.
And then they die.
So what happens next? Oh, they all go off to do exactly what Captain America told them not to do.
They all literally go do their own version of what Captain America said not to do. Like, Iron Man literally builds a giant fucking laser in the sky.
A giant death ray fueled by the sun.
Doctor Strange is like, fuck you, I'm gonna go summon Cthulhu.
He's like, I'm gonna go learn how to summon Cthulhu.
That was like the weird, like he just opens a book, he's like, I'm gonna learn something. It's like some kind of like earth destroying spell. It's like giant octopus. I was like, really?
Yeah.
And then who else? There's a bomb
that's
worked
Mr.
on.
Fantastic, which is basically
Mr. Fantastic's working on the bomb.
Which is basically, I think that's Mr. Fantastic, the Beasts, and Black Bolts, like all at the same time. Is that they reverse engineer the detonator that Black Swan had to create the bombs that would work in conjunction with the detonator. And that's basically what they settle on using if they ever have to. Which I love how they're like, we're only going to use it if we have to. But they make like 50 bombs.
They make 50 bombs, and they also make the giant death laser, and Doctor Strange goes to learn how to do Cthulhu. It's like, guys, you don't know the definition of a
and then as you get later on in the story, Doctor Strange's like, I'm going to sell my soul to get ultimate power. And it's like, hey, dude.
You're already... No, you don't gotta do that, Doctor Strange. You know how you can fix things? By using your fucking powers.
Oh, gosh.
He's the one superhero who should be able to win everything, but he doesn't because he's a self-righteous asshole.
Like it's...
No, it would be against my morals to do this. Shut up.
Like in Civil War,
person.
where he's like, I am fasting in the Arctic to pray that this conflict comes to an end.
It's like, you could end this, literally, with your hands.
And then at the very end of Civil War, he's like, I'm gonna join Captain America's Secret Avengers.
It's like, really? Really? You're gonna... Really? Douchebag. Even the Watcher is like, you gonna do anything about this?
Oh, I love the moment when... is it in New Avengers when they assemble the Infinity Gauntlet, and then it shows the Watcher, Thanos, and Galactus.
Yeah. The Watcher comes out and he's like, hey.
Yeah, it like shows them all of them like being
like their fucking
like their spider
sense
sense like tingles, and they call each other just like, hey, did you hear? Hey, Galactus, did you feel that? Yeah, man. Hey, Uatu, did you feel that? Yeah, man. I think something really bad's about to happen.
That was so funny. Just Uatu and then Thanos. You're like, oh shit. I love that. That was
like
so
the
funny.
best. Yeah.
Just something bad is happening. Also, how nonchalant they were about it, just like, hey, get the Infinity Gem. Yeah.
Oh god. But what happens next? What happens next is that Reed Richards builds this thing that he calls the Bridge, which allows him to see into other universes, which is actually something that was introduced in Hickman's Fantastic Four run from years ago.
Like every other small detail in this story.
But, so for a couple of issues, it's just like them looking at other universes and seeing what they're like.
It's like Doctor Who.
Yeah, and they all die at the end. Hooray! And some of those universes are pretty freaking cool. Like, I was like the one where Magneto and Professor X are working together.
Right on. That's the good universe.
And then, like, what is it? That's where you get introduced to the map makers and the Black Priest, right?
Yeah, the map makers.
And then another incursion. I love when the incursion happens, and then Tony Stark's like, Reed, where is it? And then Reed's like, it's in Latveria.
Just, oh, good.
I like to think that Reed's like, oh god, can I not do one adventure without having to deal with freaking Victor Von Doom, please?
Right?
But yeah, and then they show up and Doctor Doom's like destroying the map makers.
Yeah, fuck everyone.
Yeah, and then I love that Doom invites Reed and Sue over for dinner, and he's like, "So Reed, you got anything you want to tell me?" He's like, "Oh, truck man."
No. Do you see that earth above my house?
He's
No.
like eating. He like they're eating. He's like, "Oh, sorry, man. This is my food."
He's eating. There's people from the other Earth just like falling like onto the ground next to them. Like that people rain, man.
By the way, did you make this yourself? Oh my god. But oh yeah, and then they go to the other Earth, where Galactus is basically giving his life to save his universe.
Oh yeah, that was really. I don't. Did he realize what he was doing though?
Yeah, I think that's what the Herald was trying to say.
Oh. I thought it was more just like Galactus is hungry and he's a dumbass.
Yeah, I think that's what the Herald was trying to say when he was saying like Galactus is tied to the beginning of this universe, and he will be tied to the end of it. So I think that's what I think that's what he was trying to say, was that Galactus was there to destroy the Earth to save his universe from the incursion.
Because he's a prideful son
Yeah.
of a bitch. Right on.
And then I love how the Herald is like, so you can either leave and go back home and be thankful for what has happened, or you can fight me. And then like all the Illuminati look at each other, and you turn the
They just
page.
all beat
Yeah,
the
and you
shit
turn
out
the
of
page, and it's like all of them just like dogpiling on him.
That was the greatest.
Okay, and then I love that they don't stop Galactus in destroying the Earth, which like I think on one hand like they defeated the Herald and they were like, oh no, we don't have any time to stop Galactus. Oh no.
Which didn't make any sense to me because it's like, why didn't you just let him do it then? It's like you failed and then you beat the shit out of a guy.
Yeah,
Way to go.
our heroes.
We Avengers.
And then I love how they're talking to Black Swan, and then Black Swan takes that jab at the Herald because they're keeping him in a prison too next to her.
Oh yeah.
I forget what she says, but she's like, at least I'm more useful than him or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like 15 tie-ins to like 3 different events happen, so we skip those.
Yay, tie-ins.
Yeah, all I know is that the tie-ins basically serve the purpose of showing that like even while like events in the Marvel universe are happening, like the Illuminati are still like, hey dude, there's another incursion, we need to leave right now.
Yeah, we need to get the fuck out. Leave. There's bad shit.
But yeah, so what happened? Oh, so right? Yeah, so I guess now we can get into like the big like culmination in that
Big picture.
big picture. Big Bang Theory.
Big bazinga. Kill me. Kill me if I ever
Beginza.
say that again. I hate you. Continue. Speak words.
So then they're monitoring all these different alternate universes, and then they come across one where all the Marvel heroes died, and then new heroes rose to take their place. These new heroes are oddly familiar. I don't know if you got it, but I definitely got it.
I might have gotten the reference. You want to tell everyone their name?
Well, the leader of the group known as the Great Society is a man named Sun God, who is an orphan from a dead planet.
Right on.
Who gains his powers from the sun, and he's basically a god. He can do anything. He's super strong.
Oh, yeah.
He's invulnerable. He can fly. He can shoot lasers out his eyes. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's another guy. Gosh dang it! I forget all their names. But like, it's basically the Justice League.
It's literally there's literally like there's a Martian Manhunter looking motherfucker.
Yeah. Like they meet the Justice League. That's it.
Basically. And then they have to fight to the death.
Fight. Because what would a comic book be without all this fighting?
It would be stupid. That's what it would be. So, former members of the Great
hold
Society.
on. I just got all the names right now. Of the people.
Yeah, so
Okay.
did I.
Okay. So, do you want to say it or me?
I can
Okay.
do it. So we got Sun God,
Superman.
the Norn,
The Norn.
the Jovian, the Rider, Dr. Spectrum, and Boundless. If you ask me, you should never have more than 2 people with "the" in their name on a superhero team.
I love how the Norn, like, literally looks exactly like Dr. Fate. Like
He does
they
actually.
made no effort to make him look any different besides like a different color palette.
You could have stopped that sentence that they made no effort. I think you would have been fine there.
And the Jovian looks exactly like Manhunter from Young Justice.
Literally, exactly.
I think the writer is probably the one who looks the most different. The writer and Dr. Spectrum are the ones who look most different from their DC counterparts.
Can we talk about
Yeah,
Boundless?
Boundless is basically Boundless looks exactly like Earth 2 Flash. Like I'm just gonna say, she looks exactly like Earth 2 Flash.
The writer's supposed to
Yeah.
be Batman. His real name is Wayne. His real name is Wayne.
I love that. It's freaking awesome.
So, oh my god. So you want to go into
Oh,
what
God.
happens with them?
I just want to say first off that this comic proves all of my theories correct in that the Illuminati and the Great Society fight and the Great Society beats the shit out of the Illuminati. Basically until the Illuminati
Oh,
cheats.
They did cheat.
Yeah, Doctor Strange became a crazy demon.
But hey man, he had
to, you know, for greater good and stuff. Yeah.
Of course.
What else? Oh gosh, but yeah. So basically, they meet the Great Society, and the Great Society have also been dealing with incursions. And I think it's said that they've defended their Earth against 3 incursions, but they've never destroyed another Earth. I think one of them was map makers. No, 2 of them were map makers, and then another one they used their version of the Infinity Gauntlet to stop it. Which I thought it was really cool. How Jonathan Hickman said that there are other versions of the Infinity Gauntlet in other universes, but they're not gauntlets. And he says that in the Great Society's universe, it's like a cube that you get all the sides to it.
Oh, that's much dumber.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Is it though?
I don't know.
Like a gauntlet's a thing you could use. A cube is like,
Well, there's also the Cosmic Cube in like Marvel, and in Avengers there's the Tesseract. So.
yeah.
But yeah, so basically they meet the Illuminati, and then the Illuminati are like, no, we just want to talk. Like maybe if we both work together, we can figure out a way to stop the incursion. And then one of their guys is like, why do you have bombs? And he's like, well, like the bombs are like a last thing, you know, just in case. And then the writer's basically poking holes in their argument, being like, why do you even have bombs if like you don't intend to use them? Basically what Captain America
Everything Captain America
said, the writer's like, why would you even build bombs? Like, what the heck's wrong with you? Like, why would you build bombs and not use them? Like, I think we're stupid. And then freaking Namor just throws his trident right at the writer.
God damn it! See, Namor's a piece of
Yes,
shit.
and then the battle ensues. They all get destroyed. Black Bolt destroys Dr. Spectrum.
Right on.
Black Bolt just yells at the top of his lungs and destroys Dr. Spectrum.
Like literally?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Literally. And then all the Great Societies defeated, except for Sun God. And then Sun God's the last to fall. And it's really cool because they actually make a reference to The Dark Knight Returns.
Really?
Yeah, because when Doctor Strange becomes this crazy Cthulhu monster, he picks up Sun God and starts draining his energy from him. And at that point, the Illuminati are like, maybe we should stop Doctor Strange. I think he's going a little crazy. And meanwhile, Doctor Strange is like hovering in the air, like meditating, and he's like, ah!
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got that third eye that's like all big and really deranged looking, and he's like basically hovering there, just laughing his ass off, just going crazy. Yes, then Reed Richards is like, maybe we should stop Doctor Strange. He's going a little overboard. So they start attacking Doctor Strange to try to stop him, and Doctor Strange, like in his Cthulhu form, he drops Sun God, and the way that Sun God falls, and because he's been drained of his power, he looks like all skeletal and like malnourished and stuff. And the way that he falls, it looks like a splash page taken directly from The Dark Knight Returns. When
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a point where Superman grabs a nuke that's heading towards this island that basically is an allegory for Cuba during the Cuban Missile Crisis. And he grabs the nuke and takes it up into space, and basically the nuke explodes in his hands. And when it explodes, Superman, he becomes this like skeletal form of himself, and he falls out of the sky, and it basically looks exactly like that page, except with Sun God's costume.
Oh.
Yes, it was pretty cool. I saw it and I was like, hey, I read that book like 50 times.
I know that reference.
Oh god, I know what picture I'm putting right there. Anyways, so after that, oh god, it's so sad, because after that the Illuminati are like, okay, we have an hour left of the incursion. There's nothing we can do. We have to destroy this planet. So then they basically set up their bomb and everything, and they're getting ready to leave back to their Earth so that they can like safely blow it up. And Sun God's there in his like skeletal form, and he's like, please don't do this. Like there's another way. There's always hope. And then they just like look at him all sad, and they walk away. And it was a really sad moment, because like basically Sun God's just like laying there, like utterly defeated, and the Illuminati go back to their Earth, and they stand there with the detonator for a while, and Mr. Fantastic has it, and he's like, I can't do this. Like, I'm a father. I can't do this. So he hands it to Tony Stark, and Tony Stark is, he holds it, and I think he actually takes it from Mr. Fantastic, and he's like, okay, I'll do what has to be done. And he stands there, and he looks up at the other Earth, and then he starts crying and just falls to his knees. And then Black Panther walks over, and Black Panther grabs it, and he's like, I'll do what needs to be done to protect Wakanda. Because that's the whole thing about the Black Panther, is that when you become the Black Panther, you're no longer yourself. Like, you are an agent of Wakanda, and you are to do whatever it takes to protect Wakanda.
Right.
And you're also tied into the spirits of all the past Black Panthers. So basically, his dad is behind him, along with all the other Black Panthers, and they're watching him. And then Black Panther realizes that he can't destroy another Earth, so he's just there holding the detonator, and he starts crying. And then his dad's like, you've disgraced, like, the name of Black Panther. You've disgraced Wakanda. Like, you're no longer my son, and you're no longer part of this heritage. And he cuts off, like, the Black Panther bloodline from T'Challa.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So then Namor walks over.
Right on.
And Namor's like, fine, all you spineless whelps, I will do what needs to be done. And just immediately, like, activates the detonator and destroys the world.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and that's the last panel of that issue, is just Namor standing there. The perspective is from bottom up, and it's him standing there holding the detonator, and above him just the other Earth is just exploding. It's a pretty cool picture.
Man.
But then the issue after that is basically everybody getting pissed at Namor.
Yeah, oh, you think?
So then Black Panther and Namor finally throw down. It's pretty cool.
Sick.
And basically Black Panther would have beat him up if Mr. Fantastic didn't stop him.
Mr. Fantastic, you son of a bitch.
So that's when Namor leaves. And as soon as Namor leaves, all the Illuminati have like a little thing in their hands that lights up when another incursion's happening. And as soon as Namor leaves, it lights up and there's another incursion.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because something that we haven't touched on it in this video, but after every incursion, the rate of incursions goes up. So basically, the first one, it might be like a year in between them, and then it'll get shorter from there.
Right.
So another incursion's happening, and then like Mr. Fantastic looks around to all the Illuminati, and he's like, "What do we do?" And basically, Black Panther tells him, "I got the issue right here." So for this part, I'll actually be able to say direct quotes. So this will be pretty cool.
Oh, good.
So Mr. Fantastic, he's like, "What now, T'Challa? What are we gonna do?" And T'Challa's like, "I cannot be responsible for the destruction of another world, Reed. I simply cannot. Can you, my friend?" And Reed looks down at his hand, and on his hand it has like the amount of time left, and it says 7 hours, 55 minutes, 24 seconds. And it's just one little word bubble that just says no. and then it goes to a panel of black and words. So like you don't know who says it, but I'm guessing it's Black Panther or somebody. And they say, "Then there's only one thing left to do. We die, Reed, and hopefully better than we lived." And then it cuts to New Mexico. Also, by this time, Bruce Banner, the Hulk, was part of the Illuminati. He joined.
Mm-hmm.
So it cuts to New Mexico.
Got the shit beat out of him by Sun God.
So it cuts to New Mexico, and there's a dude filling up his car, and then there's another guy who's there trying to buy beer, and the guy's like, "I'm gonna need to see some ID for that," and he's like, "All right, sure," and he pulls up his ID, and you see that it's Bruce Banner from his ID.
Right
and
on.
then you see him driving down, and he goes into this abandoned army nuclear facility, and then when he walks over, you see that he just walks over to this big crater, like right on the edge of the cliff of this big crater, and that's when you realize that he's gone back to the place where the gamma bomb made him into the Hulk. So he sits down at the edge of the cliff and pops open a beer and sets it next to him, and pops open another one and holds it, and he's like, "This is it, big guy, end of the world. This is how I'm finally gonna get you." And then it's just him, and then sort of like in his imagination, so it's like a picture that you can kind of see through, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then next to him's the Hulk.
Aw.
Yeah. And then like he's sort of holding like the rest of the what's it called? I want to call it canister, but like you know what I mean, like the holder of all the beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like sort of holding it in a way where it's like, "Come on, man, you want some?" And then at the bottom it says 3 hours until incursion. This is also like one of my favorite standalone issues that I've ever read, because it's so good. And then it cuts to
You've told me.
It cuts to the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning, because after Professor X died, he gave the school to Wolverine, and Wolverine was like, "I'm in love with Jean, and she's been dead, so I'm gonna rename the school the Jean Grey School," even though they've never been together, and she was with Scott the entire time. Like he's basically being a weird stalker even after she's dead.
Yay, Wolverine.
So then it cuts to Beast, and Beast holds out his hand, and it shows that there's 2 hours, basically 2.5 hours left of the incursion.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking to somebody, and the person says, "So if I understand you correctly, you're telling me you blew up a world?" And then it cuts out, and it shows that Beast is talking to his younger self, because there was a storyline where they brought the original X-Men to the present time, because Marvel thought that they needed younger X-Men, but they couldn't bring in new X-Men because people would think it was stupid. So Beast is talking to young Beast. So he's like, "You're telling me you blew up a world?" And he basically says, "Yeah, but you know, like there really wasn't any other choice, and I didn't do it personally. It was Namor." So then, a young Beast is like, "Why did you bring me here if you knew that this is gonna happen?" Basically, what he says in all caps, mind you. So you know he's telling, he's being serious. In all caps, he's like, "How in the hell did you think it was fair to bring us into the future and miss our entire lives if you knew it was all going to happen like this?" And then Beast was like, "Yes, I can see how that might preoccupy your mind. I'm sorry, Henry. Nope. Hope is a blindfold. My actions were regrettable." So it's basically him being like, "Didn't think about that. Sorry."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then young Beast looks all pissed at him. Oh, and then this is a really cool point. Like moments like this is why I like this issue a lot, because young Beast is like, "Can I ask you another question, Dr. McCoy?" And then old Beast is like, "Of course." And he goes, "Do you remember exactly when it was you completely lost your way?" And that's and then it just says 2.5 hours until incursion, and then it cuts to somebody else. It cuts to the Sanctum Sanctorum with Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange is sitting in his chair, just like bathed in the shadows, and his servant Wong is bringing him tea, and he's like, "Thank you, Wong. That'll be all." And he's like, "Of course." And Wong, no, and then Doctor Strange picks up the tea, and he's like, "And Wong, I have something that, and then Wong's like, "Yes, Doctor, like, what do you need from me?" And he's like, "Am I a good man?" And Wong just looks at him, And he turns away and he's like, no. And then it says 2 hours until incursion.
Damn.
Like, it gets really cool. And then it cuts to Tony Stark's penthouse. And you see that he's filling up all these shot glasses.
As one does.
Yeah. So then he's talking about... Basically, he's talking to himself, and he's like, did you lose your way, Tony? Like, are you not who you were when you started all this, and all this other stuff? And he says, oh, you gambled everything, and you lost. At least I'm gonna beat you. And then he just looks at all the shot glasses, and it says 1 hour until incursion.
Jeez.
Because, in the 1980s, he was an alcoholic, and he's been sober ever since then.
Yeah.
So, so it's kind of like he's saying, even at the end of the world, I'm not gonna sway.
Dang.
And then it cuts back to the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning. And it says, why did you come here, T'Challa? And it says, I asked myself, if I had one day left, if I had just one moment remaining, where would I want to be? I did not think of duty, where I should be, or even my home, Wakanda. I thought of being here with you. Who would ever believe I was a romantic? And he turns around and you see that he's with Storm, because he and Storm used to be married.
Aww.
And then, obviously Storm doesn't know about the incursions, so she's there just, basically telling him a bunch of crap, because, they don't have, they're not friends after their divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So basically Storm's telling a bunch of crap, and T'Challa's basically there, I'm really sorry for what happened, but I just really wanted to be here. And that's basically the whole conversation. And then, it gets so sad, because at the end, he talks about, how he's had to do so many horrible things, and his life's gotten so hard. And then he turns around and looks at her, and he's like, why couldn't I have just been a king who had found his queen? And then Storm just says, because that's not the way it was supposed to work out. We weren't supposed to be together. And she was like, I wasn't meant to be a queen. Our responsibilities robbed us of that. Our choices cost us everything. Now please, you should go. This was a mistake. And then Black Panther pulls on his mask and he's like, I would have loved you forever. Only now I know that forever doesn't exist. But you, Aurora, will always be my queen. That says 20 minutes until incursion. And I was reading that and I was like, oh god, this book. Ah!
Jeez. That's heavy, man.
And then it cuts to Castle Doom, and you see the Fantastic Car landing there. And Sue and Reed are in it. And Sue's like, it's late, are you sure you want to do this, Reed? And Reed's like, we agree on a certain protocol, Susan. So I honestly don't care what time it is. We radioed ahead, gave the proper clearance, and again, as agreed, we followed all the forms. I want to check on my daughter. So basically, Sue asks him, why do you have such... Why are you doing this? You went to check on Franklin, you went to go say hi to Ben, you went to go say hi to Johnny, you spent a lot of time with me, and now you want to go check on our daughter? What's going on? And he's like, I just want to see all my family today. And he shows up, and of course Dr. Doom's son is being all nice. He's like, hey Susan, hey Reed, what are you doing here? And Dr. Doom shows up and he's like, what makes you think that you have the jurisdiction to just barge in here whenever you want? And then it's actually kind of sweet, because they show up and Dr. Doom's like, what is the meaning of this, Richards? Here in Latveria, Doom demands that children always have a good night's sleep. And then and then Valeria's standing there and she's basically just like, hi Ma. So then Reed basically goes and talks to Valeria, and Doom goes over to Susan, and Doom's like, have you noticed anything weird with Reed? Why is he over here? And Susan's basically like, I don't know, he just wanted to see all of our kids today. And then I think what it's implied is that Reed tells Valeria about the incursions.
Oh.
Because, in the background, you see Reed talking to Valeria, and he holds out his hand to her, and he shows her how much time is left.
Oh, shit.
So then, Valeria, she's, holding one of his hands, and she just goes, oh, Daddy, what have you done? And it just does a close-up on Reed's face, and it says 5 minutes until incursion. And then it goes,
oh.
The blue area of the moon. and it shows Black Bolt and Lockjaw sitting on the moon, looking at the Earth, and Black Bolt's crying, and then he just yells, and you just see like it reverberate like throughout all of space, and it says 1 minute until incursion. And then it's the Beast reading a book in his study. 50 seconds until incursion. And then Doctor Strange looking at the mask of one of the Black Priests. 40 seconds. And then he teleports away. 30 seconds. And then Reed hugging Valeria. 20 seconds. And then Banner doing like a toast to the basically to the sky, but to the incursion in 10 seconds. And then Tony with his hand like in his Iron Man gauntlet, and then it just says incursion, and then it says incursion plus 10 seconds, and it's Reed holding Valeria, and it says incursion plus 20 seconds, and it shows Black Panther and Beast, and it says incursion plus 30 seconds, and then it shows Bruce sitting there like he's like, well, I'll be damned, and then like the Hulk's just looking at him like and then incursion.
That's awesome.
And then incursion plus 40 seconds, and it's just Black Panther standing on the moon, and teleports away, and it's like incursion plus 50 seconds. And
you mean
then,
Black Bolt?
Yeah, sorry, Black Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And then incursion plus 60 seconds, and it's Tony standing there, and he's like, what the hell? So then the Illuminati reconvene, and Tony's like, does somebody want to tell me what the hell just happened? And the Beast is like, or technically what didn't happen, which I suppose we should all be rather grateful for. And then Bruce is like, well, maybe like our hypothesis was wrong. Maybe incursions don't destroy other Earths. And Reed's like, well, that would be completely contradictory to everything that we've observed in other universes. Like, I'm pretty sure that something has happened. And then Black Panther kind of gets a little mad, because he's like, well, we better hope that our hypothesis were not wrong, because if not, then that means that we killed a world for nothing.
Yeah.
And then all the Illuminati look at each other, and then Reed's like, T'Challa, my friend, I feel the same way. But if I'm honest, then I can't help but consider. And then Black Bolt like holds out his hand to him, and he's like, Black Bolt, what is it? And then Black Bolt, he holds out one finger and swipes it to his right. And then he holds out 3 fingers. And then Reed's like, oh no. Oh my god.
Wait, say that again?
Like, what is it, Reed? What did he say? And he's like, he said, where's, and then he like repeats like the finger going to the right. He's like, where's? So then Reed holds out the 3 fingers and he's like, Namor. And then all the Illuminati look at each other like, oh my god. And then it cuts to 4 hours ago, and it's Namor. And he gives the speech that Reed usually does at the beginning of each incursion, and he goes, everything dies. You, me, everyone on this planet, our sun, our galaxy, and eventually the universe itself. This is simply how things are. It's inevitable. And then this is usually where Reed says, and I accept it. And Namor says that as well. But then after that he goes, what I will not tolerate, what I find unacceptable, is going quietly, like some mewling child before my time. There is something out there coming for us, trying to kill us all, and I would do to it what it would do to us. Brothers, sisters, all the angels have fallen, and we devils are all that remain. So I ask you, and then it's just a big splash page of the Cabal. Thanos, the Black Swan, Maximus the Mad, the Herald of Galactus, and then 2 of Thanos' generals and Namor. And then it cuts to a close-up of Namor's face, and he's like, will you help me kill worlds? And then you turn the page, and it's just a black page that says, Rise, the Cabal. And then you turn the page again, and it says, Earth 9004. And that's just the Cabal laying waste to this Earth. And, like, killing everybody.
Yeah, pretty fucked up. They didn't need to do any of that.
As we find out later, the Cabal go kind of crazy. And they start, like,
Do they now?
Yeah, like, not only do they destroy worlds as the incursions happen, they go and they seek other worlds and destroy them before the incursion even happens. So yeah, that's New Avengers.
They have a problem. I'm sure we'll hear about
Indeed.
that.
But yeah, I really love that story arc. Like that whole last issue just makes it for me.
That was a good place to end it, I think, for
Yeah.
this particular arc.
And then, obviously after this is when they do the 8-month jump in the future, and it basically goes into the time runs out storyline.
Which is going to be the
Yes.
final lead up into Secret
But what
Wars.
I like about the time runs out storyline is that at the top of each of the books it says, for the first one it says in 8 months time runs out, and then as every issue comes out it's like in 7 months time runs out, in 6 months time runs out. So
Dang.
so for all the issues coming out this month, it says before time runs out.
Ooh.
So it's pretty cool. Like you really get the sense of like
Excellent.
this impending doom and like a definitive end.
Yeah, I cannot
Secret
wait for
Convergence
Secret
Wars.
Convergence Wars.
What is it?
Any closing statements for New Avengers
Oh
here?
gosh, I don't know. I really love this New Avengers arc. I haven't read all of Time Runs Out. I'm gonna read it, like obviously with you as we get ready to do the part 2 video, which will be up. I'm thinking I'm thinking we'll do it the week before Secret Wars issue 1 comes out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we're gonna do, as I said, New Avengers Part 2. But I don't know. I just really love this story arc. It's really good, and that's saying a lot because there's not a lot of action. Like it's a lot of moral questions.
Yeah.
And it's more like making you question your own morals. Like, what would you do to save your world? Like,
Yeah, like at what point is survival betraying your humanity? There's a lot of big themes
it's
in
really
this story.
cool. Like,
I think it's really
I
interesting.
love when Doctor Strange goes to try to sell his soul to get enough power to stop an incursion, and they're like, "How much of the power do you want?" And he's like, "All of it. I'm gonna sell all of my soul." And they're like, "Well, you can't really do that because you don't have a soul anymore." And that's when you realize, like, oh god, like they're really messing up
Wow.
what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. They are screwed.
But yeah, I just loved this. I can't say enough how much I liked this. Like,
Yeah,
like,
no, it was good.
for me, this story arc is up there with a lot of my other favorite comics, like The Dark Knight Returns.
Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder?
Oh god, don't talk to me about Crazy Frank Miller. Taylor asked me a question today about something that happened in All Star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder, and she's like, "Why is Batman so weird?" And I was like, "No, that's Frank Miller, okay? That's not Batman."
That is literally Frank Miller. Like, it's just Frank Miller in a Batman suit. That's why it's so weird. It's not actually Batman.
But yeah, so
He just got really bored and wanted to cosplay.
yeah. Oh, so I guess really the final thing that I'll say as our closing, which will sort of be our lead up into part 2, is that after this, Captain America remembers what happens. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like that's part of Original Sin, and he, with the Avengers and Shield, begin a manhunt for the Illuminati, and that's basically Time Runs Out. Is the Illuminati trying to stop the Cabal, and the Avengers and Shield trying to stop the Illuminati because they don't even know the Cabal exists.
It's an intense game of cat versus mouse versus giant space alien destroying force.
Yeah, because really all they know is that incursions aren't happening, so obviously somebody's destroying the world, and they don't know the Cabal exists, so they're like, the Illuminati's destroying worlds, we need to stop them.
Oh my god. I like how that's their plan. It's like, wait a minute, we're not dead yet. We better kill them.
But yeah, so that's the end of our New Avengers Part 1. I really do highly recommend that if any of you haven't read this arc by Jonathan Hickman, like, definitely read it. It's really good. Like,
Do it, read it, it's
even
great.
if you only have like a vague understanding of the Marvel Universe, like as long as you know like who Mr. Fantastic is, who Iron Man is, like Doctor Strange and them, like you can read this and it'll be really good. Like you don't have to read it.
If you already think Namor's an asshole, you're gonna think of it
Indeed.
even more. That's all you need to
So
know.
that has been Comics and Beyond New Avengers Part 1. And I believe that I can say with pretty good certainty that next week will be Ultimates.
Yeah. I think that's good.
Indeed, but we're going to be doing all of Ultimates in case anyone out there is actually reading with us. We're going to be doing Ultimates 1 and 2, and then we're skipping over the Jeff Loeb era of Ultimates because it's kind of stupid. But and then
what are you talking about? He never.
And then we're jumping from Ultimates 2 to Ultimate Comics: The Ultimates by Jonathan Hickman, and then reading till the end.
And then we'll be reading Ultimates: The Ultimates by Ultimate.
Yeah.
The Ultimate.
Yeah, as part of the Ultimates line of Ultimates. Ultimate.
From Ultimate Comics.
So that has been Comics and Beyond. Thank you for joining us. If you hated the video and want us to die, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you really like
post it on Reddit.
Post it on Reddit, because I don't know how to use that crap.
Instagram,
Pinterest,
Vine,
MySpace,
Twitch. Twitch us? No. Is that? Can you Twitch
I don't
people?
think so.
Do we have a Twitch? We don't have a
think so.
Twitch.
So we can live stream
Friendster.
us.
Look us up on Friendster.
So we can live stream us silently reading comics.
Add us on Napster.
Look us up on Ask
We have a
Jeeves.
MySpace blog. Yeah, on us. Yahoo.
Bing.
Bing. Yeah. No, that's I'm mainly on Bing.
Yeah. Google Plus. We always hang out on Google Plus.
Yeah. We actually have a hangout. It's a circle. It's just us.
So it's a really narrow circle.
But no, we post good stuff in there.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks for bearing with us, guys, and we hope to see you again.
Bye.
Namor sucks.